Yo, it's your boy E Media, Orlando Media Group. You already know what's going on. We here at NIS Studios out here in Longwood, Florida. You know, we here with a legend, right? And a legend brought his team, of course, as usual. That's how they travel. And so we gonna kick it in. Here with my nigga out for Chapman.
Hey, I ain't gonna my bad not to cut you off. I ain't letting. We talking about a mogul though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mogul a little better than that.
I feel like you could throw all those things in the pot and just grab one out at the moment. What he doing right now for me is legendary. For me,
that
you feel what I'm saying? So that's how I categorize it at that moment.
You ain't wrong. You ain't
know,
wrong.
The title is the title. We already know what's going here. Dame Dash, what's going on, brother? Let's start off with the team. I want to start off with the team. Hello. What's going on, Nicky Licky?
Let me give him the right intro.
Oh, go ahead.
You know, I want to give you context. So, Booster is from Detroit, and he'll tell you his story. And Nicolette is from Charleston, but we call her Nicky Licky. And she's been rocking with me for about 10 years, and every single less. How long?
Don't age it.
Why you try to act like you're not? She act like everything older is bad.
Anyway.
See, with lesbians, you know what I mean? Let me explain something to you what happens with lesbians. They like to complicate things. So things that are good to us will be bad to them. It's really weird. Like if I say she's pretty, she gets mad.
Yeah. I'm not pretty.
It's like weird.
But oh my God.
It's like,
I'm sorry.
And there's a language. You're a STEM, right?
Yo, pretty much.
Huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so the thing is, you know, like, I generally don't hang out with dudes at all. But if you are going to hang out with a dude, it should be a lesbian.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Your girl doesn't get mad. But the problem is, you know, every time I bring girls around, she sneaks up and takes them.
Yeah.
She's the girl taker.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
Me? That's sticky Nicky.
Sticky Nicky.
There's like an ether that comes with her. Because she ignores everyone. And it makes them want her more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she really is ignoring everyone.
Fact.
Including me. So it's frustrating to have a fine lesbian STEM, because there's different kinds of lesbians.
Yeah.
Can you break down the different lesbians so they can?
I would like a breakdown.
Break the lesbian.
Yeah, for real.
That's too long. But you know, there's femmes, stems, studs. You know, all these different type of females.
And only black girls are studs, right?
Yeah.
Wait, they got a color to it?
Because there's mass.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's outrageous.
So there's no white studs?
No,
Now there's a lot of politics with lesbianism.
Okay,
I seen some white studs.
Okay.
Like Roseanne was a white stud.
No, they're masculine.
There's a whole bunch of.
What's a white stud? What's a white stud?
Like a mask girl, like
a mask.
A mask.
Or like a butch. It depends.
So like how Charlemagne is a beard.
Is the white word.
Like Charlemagne's a beard.
Wait.
Like
that's
that.
What you're saying?
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Like he's butchy?
No, he's bitchy.
Oh.
I mean,
I thought you was about to, you know what I'm saying, gonna hit him with the when you was up there, man.
Hey, yo. What you mean?
No. Oh yeah, you got to.
You know, just look it up.
Yeah.
Do some ask ChatGPT.
You want some? See?
Yeah, okay.
See, no. She wants to complicate it. There's no direct answers, and good is bad and bad. It's really weird.
Yeah. Okay.
When it's rainy, it's a nice day.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. But either way, that's why I call her my little white lesbian Aaliyah, because it's if Aaliyah was white, she probably would be a little dark and be a lesbian, and that's why I say she's dark white.
You think Aaliyah would have been a lesbian?
If she was white.
100%. If she was white,
yeah,
she would have been a lesbian.
If she was white, hell yeah, she would have been dark. You know, like there's a different lens from different kinds of trauma. So the Caucasian trauma is different than the one with color.
Gotcha.
So it affects you different. You know, Aaliyah's trauma affected her a little different. You know, she wanted a real man in her life. And the reason why it's bugged, and they'll tell you, it's been fucking with me lately. So in the new studio, there's a projector, and it's been on YouTube. And for most people, there's been some challenging things in my life, but they're not that challenging for me. But the things that are challenging are certain things that people might not understand. And whenever I doubt certain things, for some reason, one of her records will come on. But because of the video playing, she comes on the wall, and it's like an angel talking to me, like in Star Wars when Obi-Wan Kenobi used to come back.
Yeah.
And she's in her form in which I last saw her, and she's telling me things that I need to hear through song. And it was like, damn, man, she still believes in me.
Wow.
And the reason why I've always known I'm the coolest nigga in the world, I've always known it, but what solidified it
These Harlem niggas, boy, I tell you,
is when the coolest girl that's ever touched this world told me I'm the coolest nigga in the world. That was Aaliyah. So my bar, or my for a woman, if you don't love me as much as Aaliyah did, then I can't really fuck with you. That's the bar right there. Like, if you can't look at me the way she did and still does, even from heaven, and she was the coolest on the planet, and as I'm seeing, I still ain't seen nobody cooler than her. Everybody ended up not to be so right on certain levels. She's still the coolest.
Yeah.
And she still talks to me from heaven. And I know she sent her. She was like, you need a white version of me. Because if you look at her body type,
Power.
because what happens with a lesbian as your friend is this window shopping. You always like, she's still cute as fuck. So I'd be like, damn, fine. And I can see she's like slender, like she moves a little like her. And
Yeah.
it's weird. And Aaliyah was like, not as, like the baggy Aaliyah with the basketball jerseys. I didn't know that Aaliyah.
No?
Not at all. That was a little kid to me. You know, I met her as a woman.
Gotcha.
So
Silk press.
it's the things that the way she and our perspective was not, I don't think, what people would have thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I liked about her was that she was so non-urban about things, but still loved the hood so much. And that she loved everything about me. And that's why I know I'm legit. Like, I never questioned myself ever, because she never questioned who I was.
You wasn't on, were you on that trip? Like on the way there? Did
To
you go back on a
Bahamas?
different, did you go back on a
Now,
different?
what happened there was, she, you know, and you know, I ain't gonna hold you. I blame him for that accident, to be honest. They were doing the video in Miami, and what I tell Nicolette a lot is that even before Leah did a video, she would rehearse for a month. And let's just never talk about that. And let's just all act like that didn't happen. Okay, please, thank you. No, that was a rookie move. I'm sorry.
Just to let you know,
That fucked me up. Anyway, that was Aaliyah. All right, so that fucked everything. So
Hey, I'm doing legendary talk. Like, man, we was having a whole podcast interview nigga in the goddamn. That's a real
no, he let you know.
Not real. Shit, welcome to Florida. You know what I'm saying?
sorry.
That's like the
So
movie
anyway,
Departed. That happened in the
We
movie
were
Departed.
we were going to damn.
He's the only
We were going to Miami. Nah, fuck
Yeah,
that.
Miami.
We were going to
Miami.
Miami, and Freeway, I had put the state property in a house to make an album. I gotta find that footage. And she was doing the video, and like I was saying, she had to rehearse for a month. She had just came back from doing The Matrix, and she was like, I gotta go rehearse for a month, and I was hot. But I was like, fuck it, I'll meet you out there to do the video, and you could do the record with Freeway, because Freeway was her favorite artist on Rockefeller. She loved Freeway. And she was a team player. And so I went out there, and I brought all my kids. Like, when I say all my kids, at the time, it was like my son and all my nephews. So I brought them with me, a couple of them, and we got this big house. And I went to the set, and there's pictures of me at the set. And I had done Big Pimpin', which is where I started smoking. And I already knew Hype's games. Like, he likes to, like, he'll take your budget and he would like spend it on him having a private chef in the house, and we be in a bum ass hotel. And I had to cut. That's why I cut Big Pimpin', and we said we going to Miami on Big. That was his game. I can't. So I told her, don't let him tell you that they need to do a reshoot because he's just doing it to get your budget. And of course, when I get back, she's like, yeah, we're gonna go to Bahamas and da da da. And there's a lot of other things that had happened prior to that that actually got us to the point. She hated that single. She hated Rock the Boat.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. It's a really
Label
long
pushed
story.
it.
It's a long story. But
Damn.
Rest in peace, Aaliyah, man.
but let me just
We love Aaliyah.
but let me just tell you what happened. So, of course, I'm tight. But for some reason, my son had a football game. Aaliyah's mother had just got a surgery on her eye, so she couldn't fly. And her brother was in Australia. And she never moved around alone. And, you know, she had to go do that video because, and this is a longer story, but it was to squash her problem that she did it. And before she got on the plane, she even hit me and was like, I don't like that plane, because she was scared of
That's crazy.
and I was like, don't go. And it was, you know, one of those times I should have been Dame Dash and been an asshole. The most important time.
The backstage Dame Dash. Take
I
them
should just been
jackets
like,
off.
you shouldn't be on that plane.
Yeah.
And you know, she got on that shit. And Hype, from what I heard, Lenny Kravitz had given her his plane to Aaliyah, but Hype took it to use, and she ended up on that plane. And you know, it crashed. So yeah, that's the story there. And you know, she was coming back quickly to see me, so I was waiting for her. I was getting my hair cut, you know. So imagine hearing that shit, getting that call, and half your hair didn't cut, and you gotta let the nigga finish. And that's what happened. I was like, yo, finish the cut. And at the time, they was like, one person had survived, but I was already like, if she survived, she's gonna be all fucked up. So she was gone. And that shit was the worst moment of my life.
Damn.
And you would think that after going through that kind of traumatizing experience, the industry would be nice to you. Look how the industry treated me after that happened. They thought I was weak, and that's when they made their moves on me. Take that as a lesson, because I knew what was going to happen. I wasn't surprised. You know, I saw what they did to Joshua. You know, for some reason we call him Jesus, but his name's Joshua. But I saw him get betrayed, so I just looked at it like, when people think that you're your weakest, that's when you got to watch the people that are closest to you, because that's when they start getting at you, especially when you're dead. That's when niggas start fucking with your girl. I've seen it happen with people that I respect. And that's why I moved. That's why I'm not in the files. That's why I have no fear of it. Had I still been around, would you think I wouldn't have been in them files? And I know every single person in them files. Not every person. But
The file's real?
I don't know. What I know is that it's really out there.
Yeah.
So if it's not true, they're lining people up for a fall.
Yeah.
You know, that's why when Vlad said that shit, I wasn't saying Jay did it. I'm like, you see how Vlad puts that shit in the algorithm? He just said everything that I had been fucking accusing people of. And now he made that man hot. Once something's in that algorithm, it's like, I would think that there is technology we don't know about on some, just because if I had the technology and I was trying to control the world, I wouldn't tell you everything I know and all the control I have. If I could read your mind, I ain't gonna tell you.
True.
I'm gonna just keep reading it.
True.
If I'm a gangster.
True.
And I believe there's some kind of AI, that there's certain words that make the feds start to investigate. There has to be. So when you put certain allegations out there, whether you and with especially because I get sued so much, especially without allegedly. If you don't get sued after that, it raises a lot of questions. Why would you want to raise a lot of questions in this moment? Yeah. If them shits is true and niggas is eating babies, you see, I'm a vegetarian. Nah, you see how they saying that shit is in McDonald's and all that shit? Yeah. But how would a nerd control the world? Yeah. On some gay shit, right? Yeah. Yeah. And be sneaky about it. Yeah. So if nerds do control the world, they're not controlling it on some cool shit. They're controlling it on some, it seems like if any of that shit is true, the reason why it scares me is because I know all those people and I've punished them in my way. And I'm like, damn, they talking about a nigga that used to be my partner. So if I'm still there, I would be feeling the fear that I would never, yo, bro, they talking about babies and shit. Yeah, they talking about going to hell. Yeah. So why would I ever want to? So wait, let me ask you. Yeah, go ahead. If you ever thought and saw something that even looked near that, would you have got the fuck out of there? So what did I do? And what you think if, let's say, those people are moving the way they are, they would have portrayed me to be the way they be remixing shit. Fact. So why would a good nigga that you see get traumatized, that's fighting for the culture, ever be looked at as a bad guy unless that's somebody else pulling strings? Mm-hmm. And when someone I don't have problems with all of a sudden starts talking about me, I gotta think they got paid too. Because what usually happens is it be my friends that be my friends. Like me and homeboy never had a problem. Never argument. All of a sudden we got a problem. That's a transactional thing, bro. Always. That's why it was so shocking to me. But it was like, it must have been a big number. Yeah. But damn, I didn't know it was all that. Yeah. I didn't know I was fighting all that. Yeah. So shit, I could see why niggas think I'm wild.
That came out of nowhere. It wasn't nothing leading up. It wasn't no build up. Like
nothing. It was just gradual. Why you hanging out with them so much? And why you defending them? And why you letting them talk about me when I'm not around? It was more that gradual kind of a thing. Like what? You think Kevin Lyles is cool? Leo? They're your friends? You know, that was weird. Yeah. And then it was like, why you ain't saying nothing about when they saying we got problems? You see, I made a fucking movie about it called Death of a Dynasty. Yeah. As it was happening, I thought the shit was like, y'all really gonna do this? I just didn't know people were that dumb. I really didn't.
Do you think, like, that situation with you and
it saved my life?
Do y'all think y'all, like, you know, want to say like brothers fight or like that? Do you think y'all ever
right now? I got so much. I love Jay for keeping me out of that shit. Yeah. Now I'm just thinking he was protecting me. I ain't gonna hold you. I think he just knew my moral character. Yeah. And the fact if they playing them kind of ghetto games, you know, I gotta give a toast to homeboy for keeping me out of that shit.
That real.
You feel me?
That's a positive way of looking
at it.
It's a God.
It's the only
nigga. That's a positive way of looking at it.
Nah, I fuck with that nigga for that. Yeah. Thank you, bro.
That's a fact.
That real.
Thank you for letting me raise my child and go live my life and not let me have to be influenced by none of that shit.
Yeah.
Because you think about it like as somebody else come up in the game with partners, you gotta say to yourself sometimes.
Nigga, we was partners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Was Jay the first artist you signed?
See, no. The first artist was the Future Sound, and that's Flashback, and he be up in the studio doing a night called Flashback. Yeah, he was my first. Those were my first artists. Okay. Flashback, Relay, and then it was Original Flavor. I had a lot of artists before. You know, like in business, you don't crack it the first time, pause ever.
For sure.
If you do, it's not going. I said, Paul, you right. You right. Who did that? That was God then. Pause. Because I said you never crack it the first time, and that shit said, "Whoa!"
I thought that's what it sounded like.
That was God.
That was sounded like.
Nah, that was God. God was like, "You bugging."
You can't probably crack at the first try.
You don't. It's practice.
Yeah.
What the fuck does anybody do good the first time? Pause. This is personal, but I was whacked the first time I got some ass. I ain't know what the fuck I was doing. That shit was nasty to me. But again, I was 13. You feel me?
Yeah.
But it was like, that shit is all.
I'm not doing
I
this
didn't know
tomorrow.
I did not know what I was doing. I had to get good at that.
You gotta take more shots at
Pause.
it. You gotta take more shots at it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I got a question. So what made you pick Florida, and why like the Central Florida area?
So, it's funny because people pay to be around a lot of people. And that's like a nightmare for me. That's like jail to me, without bars. Being around millions of people you don't know that have trauma that you don't understand, and then having to be like, when they react, you have to let a lot of shit slide. And I got a lot of things that trigger me. It's chemicals, it's hormones, and I try to control them, but just things bother me. I will pay to be by myself, always. And wherever we go where there's crowded people, like if we go to like New York, I'm paying extra to be out the way, away from people. And we had lost a baby at 7 months and went to Hawaii. And we were thinking about moving to Hawaii, but there was a storm. And that shit scared the shit out of me because all the power went out. I couldn't get shit. Salt water fucks everything up. So I was like, we were looking for a place to leave because we lived in L.A. where there was water, but I didn't really want to be on the ocean. I didn't want to be around a lot of people. And my girl's grandmother was dying. She's like 100 years old. And I was like, I didn't really want to live in Orlando. I didn't want to live in Tampa. And there was a studio. That studio, you went to it, and her cousin was running it or owned it. And she was FaceTiming. I was like, let me see that. And I was like, oh, I could work there.
Yeah.
And the company, the family office, was making some money at the time. And we had some bread. So over the internet, we found the house and bought it. And was like, fuck it, we'll go there. We could ride it out with your grandmother, flip this shit in 2 years and sell it. We were on the ranch, and her grandmother had some complications. We were fixing it, but we had to leave the ranch. All the dogs go over there. She got to get with her grandmother. She died. And there was a hurricane, blew my dock out. Lightning hit the house, and the power went out. Not the power, the air conditioning. You gotta have air conditioning. So that cost 10 racks right there.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
And I was ready to be out, but I had to wait 2 years to sell it. Just tax ramifications. But we found the best school. We got a good circle of friends. We started to work, and I started to love it.
That dope.
And then I really started to love it. Then I really, really started to love it.
Yeah.
And, I got with Wes Barnett. They own Publix. And we did this project, which is the music that you're listening to. So what people don't know is this rock and roll project with Freeway is executive produced by Wes Barnett.
That's crazy.
They own Publix.
That's crazy.
So this is
I love Publix.
And the way that happened was, I guess in Lakeland, they have the big family center, whatever that big shit is. It's huge.
The distribution center. Yeah.
And we were there reading a book because we went to go do the children's book that we have. And big shout out to Raquel. And one of the singles that's coming out today or in a couple of days is with Booster singing the lead from the first record from the soundtrack to the book and the movie to the book.
That's dope.
And we have a show to the book. So when we go to a town, we go to the library, whatever. I'm doing my 1-2.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that I guess they were there, and his wife Ashley is diabetic like me, and we just got mad cool. And I guess we went to the game because I didn't really understand the magnitude of Publix out here. I just got out here.
Oh, man, Publix
I didn't even know what the fuck it was.
Yeah, Publix started
That's what
in
it
Polk
is.
County too.
That's where that fruit came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So
Hey, Publix, holla at me
I
too.
swear to
You know
God.
I don't usually like saying all that.
I like going public.
Yeah,
7
holla
o'clock
at
in the
me,
morning.
So we went. Yeah, I guess they sponsored a team in Orlando, the basketball team, and we went to the basketball game. My man Sharon Barber had pulled up. We got the footage too. And while we were going, he was listening to the music. He couldn't even believe how. Cause I listen to a lot of rock and roll and different shit.
Okay.
And it came out. This nigga, he was a rapper, had a group, and we shared a passion in music. So I was like, "Yo, let's throw down and do a project." So we were going like dollar for dollar, and then I'm realizing this. I'm like, and then I'm doing all the work.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it seemed like I was working for him. I'm like, nah, we supposed to be doing this with the. So, I learned a lot about generational wealth from being in Polk County. There's a lot of money in Florida.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that made all their money in Polk County.
Yeah.
It's a very fruitful place, rich with stories. Al Capone used to go out there to chill. I tried to buy that spot that he used to have, that wetting spot, but it was too much work. And then
Didn't I hear you got like a bowling alley or something?
Yeah, you got a bowling.
so the story there is there's a movie theater in that mall. No one goes to that mall. So I go to that movie theater. And then the bowling alley is right across from the mall. So I'm walking through like, what the fuck? And then it just so happened that flashback from the Future Sound knew some people that were connected to it.
Wow.
You never told me that. I never knew.
Wow.
Yeah.
First people you saw.
First priest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
This is God.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, fuck all that. I'm starting to walk through it.
Yeah.
Nicolette wasn't with me when we went to the movies, but then I was like, come on back. And we start walking through the shit. And then there was this J.C. Penney's they shut down. So I was going to take that for my new headquarters. It's like 60,000 square feet. But through walking through and then getting to know the owner, he was like, yo, let's do this together. Because there's no traffic there.
Yeah.
And if you like this, then go get that. Like, learn the building, because I was trying to buy the mall. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, if I get that J.C. Penney's, I need to be able to buy either that J.C. Penney's. They was like, nah, you can make an offer for the mall. But, it's a long story.
No.
But at the end of the day, it made a lot of sense. And my plans and what I'm doing there, it has so many sets. And it has a liquor license, and it has food, and it's just everything I need for all my verticals.
What's the address?
I don't want to say that.
Okay.
Because I'm making it a members only situation.
That's
Ooh,
hard.
country club.
That's hard.
Yeah,
Let's
for
do it.
families and creatives.
Country.
That's hard.
So it's like, this is the CEO Country Club. I only want like-minded people.
Yeah.
And I only want people that want to eat healthy and
You
make
picked the
music.
perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
And I want a place where children can learn in their love language. A bowling alley, arcade.
Yeah.
Then we got our spot. So it's more of a family members
That's
only
hard,
for
yeah.
creatives.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then you'll be able to use, like, again, you with CEOs. So if a bunch of people that are like-minded are in an environment, they all going to get money together. Because that's what generals do when they get together. So I only want generals, and it comes with, like, once a month you get CEO gear, and you get to use all of the equipment that I use. And I got a lot of television shows. My television network is coming back out. New network. It was America New. Now it's
America
New
New.
Network. We got to run.
Yeah, we got to go.
But